Now.
Blacksad is a point-and-click narrative game. It is based on a Spanish comic I have never heard about, but that is to no surprise. As a true macho man, I only read comics focusing on the army or Japanese schoolgirls. But it is fun to see a Spanish game focusing on a Spanish comic. Looking over the European adventure games that I have reviewed, there is a clear dominance from certain regions, so it is nice to see games from other places. I am not sure though what to make of it, that all South European adventure games that I have reviewed are about noir detectives in New York. I am not sure if you are aware, but there is a clear distinction between detective novels from different parts of Europe. Swedish novels are depressing, English novels are comfy, and I haven't read any South European detective novels, but I can imagine them being really big on chain-smoking macho men. But I am getting sidetracked. I would describe Blacksad as a mix between the Telltale games and the Sherlcok Holmes games. The game has no real puzzles, but you will explore different places and talk with different people, and then you will make some deductions by pairing related facts together. It is all very basic, but sadly the game screwed it up, with clunky controls and lack of hotspot highlighting, resulting in the exploration path being less enjoyable than it should be. The other half of the game is the Telltale path, with quick-time events and dialogue choices. Basically, this is a full-on narrative game. This is a game that needs to be carried by its story and atmosphere. Thankfully, both are quite strong, even though there are problems. The story is set after the Second World War in an alternate reality, where everyone is a humanoid version of animals. Our protagonist, Blacksad, is an ex-soldier now working as a detective in New York, and he is hired to track down a boxer that went missing before his big fight. Without going into any spoilers, there are dames, gangsters, corruption, gambling, drinking, fallen angels and all the rest that you would expect from a noir detective story. As a whole package, I like the story. The pacing is reasonably high, the main story is interesting, and at its core there is a large cast of strong characters that feels very human and easy to care for. The narrative quality is uneven though. There are dialogues that doesn't really make any sense. There is dialogue that refers to past events in strange ways that doesn't really fit what actually happened. Certain sections with the criminals are also needlessly etchy and have a completely different tone to it.
I told you, nothing more than petty cash. Never given a second thought to them small numbers. And you never will.
The player interaction is also quite poor. In true Telltale manner, the game will always tell you that person X will remember something, but it rarely have any impact. This kind of smoke and mirror gameplay we are used to, but Blacksad also have the habit of offering a set of choices where every choice but one will result in immediate game over. Combine this with very few big choices in general, and it is really a linear story trying to pretend to be more interactive than it really is. There are also characters and story points that I assume were taken from the comic book, and as someone who haven't read the comic, these parts felt weaker than the rest. But still, all in all, I found the narrative of this game to be enjoyable, even though it is a bit messy, which is a nice enough segue to talk about the presentation.
Poker is as boring as it is simple. All you need to do is read people's faces, and even the worst detective has that trick up his sleeve. The real issue is knowing what to play for when there's much more than just money at stake.
I actually bought this game a while ago, but it ran like complete dogshit and I refunded it. Even with my current man-child machine, I still got some frame drops. So in short, the game has some optimization problems. Visually, I think the game pulls off the era and the animals reasonably well. Sure, you can point out that some lip syncing could be better, and there is certainly a Yankee feeling to the visuals. But I can't help but finding the presentation really charming, and there are so many details in the environments proving that someone cared. Add to this quite good voice acting and some nice background music, and you have a presentation that is really unique and charming, even though it can be a bit rough around the edges. And that can truly be said about the whole game. It isn't without its flaws, but it is also a fun and charming detective game that is unique. It was a bit slow in the beginning, but then it got going and it won me over. So if you are looking for a narrative-focused detective game, or if you are just a weird-ass furry, then I would certainly recommend Blacksad.